How many words does it take to create a full manuscript? So it depends if you're writing fiction or nonfiction. There are industry standard word counts that are important to consider when you're writing your book. This is important because agents and publishers are thinking about the cost of production of your book. And so there's also an average amount of words people are willing to pay attention to, especially these days with the short attention spans, to think about when you're writing your book. So if you are writing nonfiction, most nonfiction books sit somewhere around the 50,000 word mark. This can be less, of course, it can also be more, but thinking about 50,000 words is also helpful to you as the author because that can help you then break down how long it's going to take to write your book. Then you can break it down and really think about, okay, if I want to write a 50,000 page book in the next 8 to 12 months, let's say 8 months, you can then start to divide 50,000 by 8 to see how many words will that require me to write each month. Then you can break it down by 4 for how much do you need to write each week. And of course, if you know you're going to write 3 times a week, then you can break it down by 3 to be like, okay, this is how many words I'm going to have to write every single time I sit down to write. Once you have that number, then you can decide, is that going to be realistic for you or not? If it's not realistic, I invite you to adjust that timeline. Same with fiction. Usually the target for fiction is 90,000 words. This is because we do a little bit more world building. There's more plot. There's more things that are happening along our journey of our stories. There are genre exceptions for this. So things like fantasy tend to be a little bit longer and can reach towards that 120 word mark. But again, we're also thinking about the cost of production for your book. So it's important to keep that in mind. If you are reaching 150,000 words, you're most likely going to have to cut some of your darlings and get closer to that 120. Again, this is genre specific, but most fiction sits around 90,000 words. So again, you can take that and be like, if I want to write a novel in the next year, how many words do I need to write each month, week, and time that I sit down to write? What can be super helpful as you are writing is to track your progress, or to use a word counter to track your progress as you are sitting down each writing session. And I have a free template of this on my website, which you can find where you find things to click on, which can be super helpful to see your progress, not only to track what you're writing, but once you reach the end of your manuscript, you can look back and be like, look at all of these times I showed up for myself in the writing process. So word count does matter, not only to help you think about the publishing process, but it also helps you in the writing process. So let me know in the comments, what is your target word count?